flawlessly.
Let's bring in the White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt right now. We saw some of your posts, Ms. Press Secretary. Thanks so much for joining us. The coordination was really noteworthy to see that. I never remember seeing Christopher Wray out and about at a crime location. Could you bring us behind the scenes? How long this has been in the works? What could you add to what we just heard?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to commend President Trump and our great Attorney General Pam Bondi, our FBI Director Kash Patel, and Tom Homan. This is what happens when you have competent federal leadership at the top, working with state and local law enforcement on the ground to put bad guys in jail. And this is a directive that has come from President Trump here at the White House to law enforcement agencies across the country. This president has your back, and he is going to support you as you pursue illegal immigrants and you pursue violent criminals in American communities. This individual who they arrested today was a national ringleader of the brutal MS-13 gang, a gang that the previous administration, Joe Biden and his cabinet and his team allowed to infiltrate in our country. And now President Trump and his team are cleaning up that mess by arresting these individuals. And this took place 30 miles outside of Washington, D.C., where you have politicians and mainstream media journalists who live in this city and who have derailed against the president and his crackdown on illegal immigration and on violent crime. They should be grateful that monsters like this are no longer going to be living in their communities thanks to the great leadership of President Trump and everybody who was on the ground. They were working throughout the night, no sleep for this team, to make the lives of the American people safer.
Karoline, I think it's important to note, too, with this big operation, there were no leaks. I mean, that's incredible that there was no leaks in there. But also, the point was made that the flights will continue. And this guy was in the country illegally, I think from El Salvador. Can we anticipate him being loaded up on a plane real soon?
We are going to continue with the mass deportation campaign that President Trump promised the American public. I understand that a radical judge at the appeals court has denied the president and our legal team in the case against the Alien Enemies Act, but we are going to continue to forge ahead in the courts and think about how insane it is that we have a Democrat Party and we have Democrat activists who are judges in our judicial branch who are fighting against this administration from deporting these heinous individuals. If we have a country where the president of the United States, where the commander-in-chief cannot deport foreign terrorists and illegal aliens, the American people are in a lot of trouble. So we're going to continue to fight to do what's right for law-abiding American citizens. We will forge ahead in that court case. But yes, we will comply with the court's orders. We will fight in court. But we are going to continue to deport illegal immigrants from the interior of our country.
You know, Karoline, one of the things about Donald Trump is before he was president, he was on TV a lot, and he was a great, a great presenter, and he was a really good producer as well. And it seems like this entire administration so far has been really good at getting the images out, the optics of what is going on. We saw early on some of the raids. We saw Kristi Noem yesterday in El Salvador. We're seeing this going on. Ultimately, the visual message, the optical message to the people who are thinking about coming into the country is, why bother? They're going to catch me. I'm going to wind up on a plane or in that hellhole in El Salvador.
That's right. The president has made it very clear to people around the world, do not come to the United States illegally. And if you do, you will face consequences for that. And not only are we taking action on the ground, we are sending a strong message with these visuals to the rest of the world, and it's having an impact. Look at illegal migration through the Darien Gap. There has been a 99% decrease. Look at the gotaways at our southern border, 77 a day. That's an astronomical decrease from the previous administration. There were thousands of people coming to the border every single day under the previous administration. And it just proves that everybody who said we needed a border bill was wrong. We just needed a president who actually wanted to enforce our nation's immigration
Karoline,
laws.
we only have a minute left, but right now we know the pattern. They're going to pound you on the signal story all day. How do you handle that? Meanwhile, there's so many other things to talk about.
The president and our entire team have been incredibly transparent. We have taken every question under the sun about this story, and the National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this mistake. We are looking into it to ensure it can never happen again, and we're going to continue doing the business of the American people that they elected this President Trump to do, which includes removing illegal criminals from our communities, which includes America First trade policies. Yesterday, the president announced a 25% tariff on foreign auto vehicles and auto parts. This is huge for our auto industry. In fact, the United Auto Workers Union, Sean Fain, the president, came out this morning and applauded the president for this exceptional policy. More jobs, more investments, more money coming back to America. We are going to continue to focus on that.
Well, today is definitely a big win for the administration and the country.
That's
a
right.
dirtbag off the street that was criminalizing and harming other Americans. Karoline Leavitt, we appreciate you a lot.
Thanks, guys.
It's going to be another busy day in Washington, but the Trump administration certainly is